Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about morning rituals. A couple of years ago, I read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. He believes that a consistent morning ritual is necessary because how you wake up each day and your morning routine, or lack thereof, dramatically affects your levels of success in every area of your life. He goes on to say, focused, productive, and successful mornings generate focused, productive, successful days, which inevitably create a successful life. Unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre mornings generate unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre days, and ultimately a mediocre quality of life. By simply changing the way you wake up in the morning, you can transform any area of your life faster than you ever thought possible. I absolutely 100% agree with Hal. And the Miracle Morning, my morning ritual is a little bit different than what Hal talks about in his book. He calls it a formula called SAVERS for the 6 activities. He recommends silence, which is meditation, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. So that's S, the silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, otherwise known as journaling. I was convinced after reading The Morning Miracle, or The Miracle Morning, that a morning ritual was key for me. And I realized it because I wanted to live a depression-free, emotionally balanced life. And I'm not so much anymore, but I have struggled with depression for years. So I had already, when I read Hal's book, I had already started to develop some healthy health and wellness habits. I dabbled at meditation. I was journaling fairly consistently, and I dabbled at yoga. Because these things, meditation, journaling, and yoga, helped me battle my depression and lessen the frequency of my depressive episodes. But I was having limited success installing these habits because I didn't have set times when I would do them. So I'd forget to do them, or I would remember, but I didn't feel like doing them. I mean, I was dabbling. I'd go to a 75-minute yoga class once or twice a week. I'd meditate a couple days a week, and I'd journal when I felt like it. No wonder I wasn't experiencing any sort of miraculous effect on my depression or on my productivity, or rather lack of productivity. Over the last couple of years during the pandemic, I have committed to doing a morning ritual religiously. It is sacrosanct. I call my morning ritual my Blissciplines practice. Blissciplines, combination of bliss and disciplines, Blissciplines. And that's the way I start my day. I get up early. I get up usually between 4 and 5 so that I have a couple hours. Hal talks about spending 60 minutes on your morning ritual. 60 minutes then that's 10 minutes on each of the 6 activities. Well, 10 minutes on each of that 6 activities isn't enough for me. I would feel like I was barely scratching the surface. So it's important to me, and this is just me, that I have several hours to devote to my Blissciplines practice. And here's my practice. I start out my day journaling. And I journal. If you've ever heard of Julia Cameron, she wrote The Artist's Way, and she advocates morning pages. Basically, what morning pages are, they're stream of consciousness. I just get my journal out and my pencil, and I just write whatever comes to mind. I don't think about it. I keep going. She says you just keep writing, and if you stop, can't figure out what to write, you say, I can't figure out what to write, and you just keep writing until you've done 3 pages. in your journal. And I typically do 3 to 4 pages. So I start with journaling, and then I meditate for 20 minutes. And then I go launch into my exercise and spirituality piece of my morning, because I do a long morning walk. I have an Australian Shepherd who is really energetic, and he has to be thoroughly exercised in the morning, which is good for me because I have to be thoroughly exercised in the morning as well. So my morning walk is a combination of exercise, but it also is also spiritual and meditative. It's often when I talk to God. It's often, I will often say my affirmations. I will think about what I'm struggling with. I will do my mental gratitude list. So my morning walk kind of covers a whole bunch of different things. And then I do yoga and Pilates, 20 to 30 minutes of each, depending on the day. Some mornings I don't have time to do both, so I may do one or the other. But I have a couple instructors on YouTube that I adore. So I do Pilates and yoga in my studio at home using YouTube, and it's worked really well for me. And one of my favorite yoga teachers on YouTube, Sarah Beth, has a great quote. She says, "Your daily practice is your best practice." That's not just true for yoga. That is true for the entire morning ritual. Your best practice is your daily practice. My Blissiplin's practice, and being really, really, really religiously regular with it, consistent every single day, has done wonders for me. It has gotten me, by and large, depression free. I also cut out Diet Coke, and I'm trying to cut out things that might also cause or contribute to depression. But I attribute much of my current remission from depression, I attribute it to my Blissiplin's practice. It's that important to me. And after going through chronic depression for years, being depression free feels really, really good. And if I weren't depression free, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now with trying to develop, succeeding mindset there, with developing a coaching business. I wouldn't be here showing up on live every day if it weren't for my morning Blissiplin's practice and the way it sets the tone for my day. So if you don't have a regular morning ritual, recommend getting Hal Elrod's book. It's called The Miracle Morning. It's a great quick read. He also has a podcast and I think a blog. That's a great place to start. Get The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. That's the book that talks about morning pages. And just get started. You follow Hal Elrod's his framework, where you do 10 minutes of each of 6 activities. That's an hour. Try it that way. See if that works for you. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a morning ritual. And it's especially critical if you're thinking about becoming your own boss and starting your own business, because we need a lot of courage and resilience and mental health, mental stability, mental maturity to be able to do that, run our own business and get our own business launched, because there's a lot of obstacles and setbacks. We have to be mentally healthy. And a Blissiplin's practice, a morning ritual, are great ways to start. And if you're still employed, get your morning rituals started now so they're in place and they're deep set embedded habits before you go out on your own. You will thank yourself later because it sets the foundation for being successful in your business and your life.